Hey folks, Gary here. Happy Monday to you. Happy Labor Day Monday to you from myself and Cole. I don't know if you can see him in the camera, but he's got his toy here, so I'll be about my labor and play fetch with my dog. There we go. So, happy Labor Day to you. Yeah, Labor Day, a national holiday where we celebrate, we actually celebrate unions on Labor Day. I don't know if you knew that or not. So it was a holiday that was started back in the late 1800s, 1890 or something like that, back when unions really had a purpose. They have a purpose today as well, but in some ways I think they've changed a lot. And I'm not going to get into the politics of unions or anything like that. I think, in some cases they're really, really good. In some cases they're not very good. But regardless of all that, we celebrate Labor Day on Monday. It's kind of like the last weekend, the last long weekend of the summer, and we probably don't think about unions at all. We just think about relaxing and taking some time off. And that's not a bad thing. Actually, God talks about that. Actually, God gives us an instruction about that. We read in Scripture about Sabbath, and what Sabbath was given to us to rest. Now, some folks, they got pretty crazy about the Sabbath and what you could do and not do, and that was the Pharisees. And they gave Jesus a fair bit of trouble over that. And we read in Mark 2, actually Mark 2, verse 23 and 24. Let me just read it. It says this. One Sabbath day, as Jesus was walking through some grain fields, his disciples began breaking off heads of grain to eat. But the Pharisees said to Jesus, Look, why are they breaking the law of the harvesting of grain on the Sabbath? Well, okay, they're not harvesting grain. It's not like they're out there with the combine bringing in the crops, although people will be doing that today, even though it's Labor Day and it's a day of rest. I mean, you gotta harvest when you gotta harvest, right? So they'll be out doing that for sure. But the disciples aren't doing that. They're hungry. And the grain head's right there, so they're plucking them off and just eating them. They're not harvesting anything. They're actually just filling their stomachs. But the Pharisees got crazy about that. Jesus responds back in verses 27 and 28. This is what he says. Then Jesus said to them, "The Sabbath was made to meet the needs of the people, and not people to meet the requirements of the Sabbath." He's saying you got this thing twisted. You're thinking that the Sabbath is the most important thing. It's not. The people are the most important thing. Sabbath was made to give people a rest. It wasn't made to hold them in bondage. It was made to give them a rest. And so he continues to say, so the Son of Man is Lord even over the Sabbath. You know, it's important to get our rest. God's created the Sabbath for us to rest, to trust him. So your body needs a rest, your mind needs a rest. It's important to take a rest. It's also important to trust God in that rest. Sometimes we can get a little crazy about that, right? If you got to make money. You've got to pay your mortgage. You got to pay for your food. You got to pay for, maybe there's a car loan or whatever it is. Like you have obligations, financial obligations to take care of your family. And so we will work, and we'll work hard in order to do that. And that's good. You should work hard to take care of your family. If you till, you eat, right? So you should work hard to take care of your family. That's a basic principle for sure. But we can get overboard sometimes, and we can work all the time and never rest. And God says that's not good either, though. Work hard, make a good living, but rest as well. Trust God in your rest, that when you're resting in him, when you're taking your Sabbath and taking a time to rest, trust that God will take care of it for you, that you don't have to be out there hustling. You can actually take time off from that and trust him during that moment, that God will meet your needs, that he will cover you and he'll take care of you. The Sabbath is made for you for what? To get a really good rest, to restore yourself, but also to learn to trust God while you're relaxing, to trust that he has you covered, to know he is good and he's not going to let you down. So enjoy your day off. Enjoy your Labor Day. Play fetch with your dog or clean out your garden or whatever it might be, but enjoy this day. Enjoy the presence of God. Enjoy resting in him. We'll see you tomorrow.